Okay, after making that grooving tool over 4 times and crunching it 4 times, I'm putting the steady rest in the back. Is that what it's called? Steady rest? Yeah, steady rest. And I'm going to set it up that way. I'll have to remake the tool. Plus, I started going in with a smaller tool to get most of the material out, and then I'll go back in with the fishing tool. But I'm just setting up for the steady rest. This is the first time I've used the steady rest on my lathe. I've never used it before. The darn metric screws that hold it on, I didn't like that, so I went ahead and tapped it out to a standard SAE thread. Oop. So I'm just lining everything up now, making sure that this is set parallel to that face, perpendicular to the travel. And we'll tighten this up. And now I'll have to pick up the threads. So, in order to do that, got these backed off. I'm going to have to go and put it in gear. Let's see. Alright. And then I'll engage the lead screw at 1. And I'll get it to where it's going. I'm going to ride the lock a little bit. And then I'm going to come in here and pick up the thread. So let's see if I can get this light out of the way so you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to pick up that thread. And I'll pick that thread up by turning it in, and if it's off, I'll use my compound that's set at an angle to actually pick the thread up. Oh, I've got to change my glasses. Got safety glasses on so I can see. There we go, that's better. Alright, so now if you could see in there, you'd see that I'm off on the thread. Maybe I'll take my little camera, set it up here, and give you some shots of that up close. Let me guess, the battery is dead. Yep, battery is dead on that. Let's try this one. I gotta wipe the lens. Got some oil on the lens. I don't know if this has got any battery. Oh, yeah, it's coming on. It ain't got much battery life in it. So I'm going to go ahead and go and start recording. It's recording now. And if you look in here, let's see, where's the best? If you look in there, you'll see that the thread, the tool is so go back off, come in, back off a little more with the compound, come in, and we do that until we get the thread lined up. Right there. got it lined up with the thread. So we should be in business again. Turn this camera off. Put back the camera bag. So now we want to turn our feet down against. I should run a file across this and deburr it a little bit. I think I will. I think I'll crank it over here. And I crunched it, I don't know how many times, the square tool bit right there. So it's kind of messed up the thread a little bit. I'm going to take a file and file the burrs off of it. So it doesn't eat up the feed on the steady. I don't know what material this is, but it's definitely giving me a challenge for cutting a square thread in it. That's better. Alright, so now we want to come over here. I need to back you up a little bit, huh? You can see the end. So we'll come over here and turn these in till they touch. They got brass tips on them. Want them just to touch, be snug up against there, up against the lead screw. Then I'm going to lock them. Lock that one. Lock that one. Lock that one. There's 2 screws on each one. Okay, so why can't I get it in this one? There we go. So that's locked in place now. Now I want to pick up the thread with my tool again, and I bet I'm not going to get over there. Am I? Oh yeah, just barely. All right, so I'm going to just crank in and just touch it. Right there. I'm going to zero my dial out. So zero my readout out. Back here, get into the groove and crank her in. Yeah, see, I don't know how much. I'm going to crank her in 50 thou and go across to 60 thou and go across that one time just to see. Wait for the one to come around and see if we can crunch this tool. It's not cutting there. It may cut down on the end here where she was really flexing away. Yeah, I haven't used this steady at all. Never found the use to. Now this tool bit is smaller than what the thread will actually be. Alright, that was at 60. Up down here. And we're going to go another 20. I'm going to go to 80. Oh, I just missed my one on the dial here, darn it. Here she comes. Put a little of this. So I'll have to grind up silver solder and grind up a tool again, and we'll try her again here. Just cutting right there. That was at 80. We're going to go 90. There's 90. I need to get my brush to brush that. So I can see what's going on. Okay. Got a little bit of play there, but not much. Alright, that was at 90. I'm going to move the camera here too. Brush. You can see where I'm at. That was at 90. Let's go 100. Turn it on. That's at 100. I'm going to move the camera over here. .25 deep is what we want to go, so I'm going to go just a tad deeper. Probably go 135, because then when I go with a full-size tool, I'll just go to the 125. That was at 100. 110. 110. I turned up a sleeve here, so when they come off, when the steadies come off, if they come off, it won't. It'll hold it in the same spot. I can't remember what this tool was made for, but it's narrower and it's a full radius on the end. That was 110, we're going to go 125, I believe. There's 125. So far hasn't made any noise at all, so it's a good sign. Now I'm going to do the 135. And like I say, that'll be 10 thou deeper. Should be. Than what thread call out is. The only reason I'm going 10 thou deeper is there is a little bit of play in that. In the steady, so I don't know if I'm going to look for different material or continue on with this material. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and grind up the tool again to put in there. I won't be able to get this tool out, will I? With that steady on there. I wonder if I can back it up. Well, duh. Oh, okay, all right, never mind. I'm new here. All right, so I want to see how much undersized this was up there. Yeah, it's over 10 thousandths on small. So I will be back after I silver solder, find a chunk of metal and silver solder a carbide on it. And matter of fact, I might take an old tool bit and silver solder, or maybe I can find an old tool bit and grind up without silver soldering. I'll be back. Okay, I ground up a micro 100 tool. They can usually take some abuse. So now I got to pick up the threads again. So what I'm going to do is engage it at 1, ride the brake a little until she's pulling, and we'll go and see where we're at. In. I'm gonna get a magnifying glass here. That don't work with this light shining in it, though. Let's see if I can see. I want to get it close to equal on both sides if I can. Right about there, I think. I think it's right about there. So let's go over here. Plus, I ground it with a lead angle, or so it should be able to cut pretty good. Right there, zero it, back out. Now I'm going to check. Make sure that's up against. That those are up against. Crack those loose. Come on. I had trouble getting it in that one last time. There we go. All right. They don't have to be, these lock screws don't have to be that tight. Just snugged up. Alright, we should be ready to give it a whirl again. We're at 0. Over here. And then we're going to just go, we're going to go 20 on the first cut here. And we'll see how she handles it. Ready? I guess. Well, I got it off a little bit. wonder if you didn't raw it. No. Okay, one. I think I will. I think I will. Add those up. Pick this out. Move over here, I see. Follow the vertical over there. I have guys. Big tiger. I see it. Okay, so you see. That's a bird. I'm just bird on you. See it. Okay. Up there. Up there. So up here. We're just. Just okay. I'm just gonna have. I'm not using this. I think my hand screwed this. Never really had you. You might be thinking that. Okay, so ready to go. She touches. I usually get it before. Let's try to eat that with I'm not sure true. There's something in something. Right now, we're 100. 100. Let's go. Let's go extra for here. What's this one? Cheese. That's fine. Yeah, that's not a little loose on here. Yeah, but that's all of it. It's not all. I wouldn't get this nut. That's right. And that's it. I'm going to get gas. Just look. A lot of pressure on that. Let's go here. See what we got now. You didn't look into that. Okay. Make it something. Oh, he's feeding it. And I'm not right there. Running. Feed right here. Right there's that spot. Where's it? See what you want. So here's it. One right there. Cancel that. So I have to just again. You can round. That's over me. You can slide very well. I mean, you feel something like that. I like it. I have a nice spot there. There we go. A little better. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Check this. Sure, that's right. I see this big job. Another side. Zoom over. Happy about that work. Happy hard. The pretty open. And that's hard to know. That'll be fine. Can't go down. If you really want to do that. The square thread, not a chamfered thread. Still seen it. I've probably seen this wiggle yet. That could be an optical illusion though too. I can almost look at the camera and see if it shows up. All right. 110. On both sides of the tool now. Cutting clear across the thread there, or the tool being down here, it was flexing away so bad even with that pin cutter. I'm going to drop the height just a little bit, put it underneath. Might be a mistake, but that was 110. Let's go 115. It's starting to look like a square thread though. I'm gonna have to fast motion it though. The video, because this will be way too long if I. All right. 125. Oh. I went 25. 125. I'm going, how come it ain't cutting? Ooh. Don't get a rush. Now it's cutting. And we're going to go 125 again. And I'll probably take a 130 cut a couple times and then we'll try the nut. See what it does. Because that will be under that diameter in there. $130. $130, right on the money. We'll do it a couple times. One more time. Alright, I'm going to see what camera just stopped. Just back this out. Yeah. If I can find the right nut.